Now we begin our 10-minute pose of the week. So I'm just gonna hold this up for our volunteers that are gonna splice up this video and distribute it to incarcerated women in 10-minute increments, which works for their tablet program. So thank you for bearing with me, everyone. And pose of the week starts now. So let's talk about this, the pose of the week. So this week, the pose of the week is half Lord of the Fishes, which is not prenatal safe. So what are we gonna do? We are going to modify. So where do we get the poses of the week? The poses of the week are from the 45 key poses of the SHARE method. And why do we have them? We have them because we found out that if we narrow the scope of yoga to just 45 poses, we are able to train anybody, regardless of ability or inability, even regardless of literacy. We're able to train anyone to become a confident yoga teacher. The 45 poses is enough. So, and our program is based on repetition. So in the RYT 200, you learn 35 key poses. And in the RPYT, the Registered Prenatal Yoga Teacher Training, you learn those same 45 key poses, except we talk about what is safe and not safe for pregnancy and why. So let's talk about this pose of the week. So the pose of the week is half Lord of the Fishes. So we can start in easy seat and then bring one knee up and kind of shimmy it over. This part is okay in prenatal, just squaring the torso. What is not okay in prenatal is three things. We're not supposed to lay on our stomach because that squishes the baby. We're not supposed to be on our back too long because that can impact circulation and actually cause death if somebody had a surgery and they were on their back too long. And we're not supposed to, the third thing, we're not supposed to tweak or torque our torso. So half Lord of the Fishes, while normally it might feel like a really good twist, you cannot wring out your torso like it's a wet rag in pregnancy. Not okay. So a modification, if you are teaching a class where some people are pregnant and some people aren't, and you're dying to do this pose, you can inform the pregnant people to not twist, and they can just come into it like this and not twist. Another modification, maybe you don't even want to do this pose in your sequence if you have pregnant people. And so you can do double pigeon as a modification. So I'm going to give you a minute to kind of play around with that. Half Lord of the Fishes, not twisting, double pigeon. Maybe you want to come up with your own modification. Please feel free to comment here in the YouTube, or even better, comment on our Teachable forum so that we can have all the comments right there with the class material. Commenting on Teachable also helps you streamline your experience and preserve your notes should you come back to the course later. Sign-ups for Teachable are sharelove.fun/train, in case anyone is watching this on YouTube and has not already signed up. So we can play around with this. So to get into pigeon, you want to create an angle, kind of like a right angle-ish, with one leg. The other leg is on top. You want to flex your foot to protect the knees. I'm pretty tight, so I have all this space. For people that are less tight, their knee will come and rest on their foot. This is a great hip opener. The hips are really stubborn. It takes a long time in these poses to really open up. We'll spend a minute here just trying to encourage the hips to open up. They say in yoga classes that sometimes when your hips fully release, some people just weep. They weep in pigeon or double pigeon because it's just such an awakening for them. Takes a lot of time and stretching to open up the hips. You can shake it out when you're ready. Shake it out. And we are going to do a non-twisted, modified half Lord of the Fishes on the other side. Here you want to have both sits bones grounded and your torso square. We are not doing the twist part of this because that's not prenatal safe. As discussed, in prenatal, we can't twist the torso. This can be a pose that somebody sits in for contemplation. You can use this pose for stretching, a warm-up. Often the full pose that includes the twist is used as a cool down pose or a release. But here you could use it just, if someone wants to stretch their arms. It is okay to go side to side and forward and back. So you can pair this pose with a stretch to rainbow the arms to one side. Reach, 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 and release. Reach, 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 and release. Reach, 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 and release. If you want a deeper stretch, you can shimmy the legs out a little bit. Always making sure that both glutes are on the mat. If this feels like tension on your wrist, you can also kind of leverage your hand holding on, but always careful to keep the torso straight. Exhale, you can do the other side. And since our legs are not symmetrical, the stretch is a little bit different on each side. You can reach, 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 and release. Reach, 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 and release. Reach, 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 and release. You can reach your hand under for a little more leverage. And if you feel that you have tension in your neck, you can resolve that by looking down and then looking up. Taking in what we learned in our breath work. You can think of your breath as a circle with no start or end, and using your breath to expand those tighter areas. From here, we can come down and try the double pigeon on the other side, just to get a nice even workout. So double pigeon can be a prenatal safe modification for half Lord of the Fishes. Your legs are stacked up on top of each other. My knee is pretty high up because I just have really tight hips, so that's not on purpose. Let your leg fall down to its natural state. Double pigeon is a great hip opener, especially for prenatal, because pigeon can be sometimes uncomfortable for prenatal, or there might not be space for the baby. And there's a lot going on with the hips in pregnancy. So having hip openers can really, really help. The hips are very stubborn. These are big, big muscles that don't stretch easily, so stretching takes time. Let's shake it out, and we are going to start with now the sequence of the week, moving through. So this is the second subsection of our technique section. So sequence of the week, this is, we'll start this 10-minute segment, sequence of the week. Okay, so for the sequence of the week, let's see. So I need my little cheat sheet. Sorry guys, but we're all learning here. So our poses to date of this series E of the share method are wide-legged forward fold. How far should you put your legs? You should put them as far as you can without hurting yourself. How do you know that you are hurting yourself? Sharpshooting pain is never good, and usually when it's a stretch, in about 5 to 10 seconds, the sensation goes away. I have super tight hips, so mine is not so far, but that's not a technique, that's just my limits. Inhale, exhale, walking the hands out, straight back, and exhale, let it fall, let the spine curve, let the neck curve. This takes a while to really open up the hamstrings and hips. So we'll spend a minute here. From here, you can walk the hands up and go into cobbler's pose. Cobbler's pose is our second pose of this series, in this series E. You can use cobbler's pose as a way to massage out your feet. Give yourself a little self-massage, increase circulation. Also, it's an opportunity to open up the feet as books, widening the thighs, allowing the hips to open up, just as we were working on before. In cobbler's pose, you can work on the same forward fold concept. Inhale, arms up, exhale, forward folds. Here you can walk the hands to one side and breathe, feeling the stretch in the back. And walk the hands to the other side, feeling the stretch on the other side. To release tension in your neck, you can shake the head yes, shake the head no. When you feel ready, you can slowly walk up and experience reclined goddess. So we talked about different modifications and props for a reclined goddess, that there can be props under the knees, and there can also be props to make it more like this. Reclined goddess is also a hip opener, like pigeon. And this can also feel really good as a savasana for pregnant people. From reclined goddess, we get back to work with bridge pose. So feet hip width apart, lifting up our glutes, shimmying the shoulders back under, hands clasped, walking the feet a little bit closer, and really getting the pelvis up to the sky while the wrists are down. Slowly coming out of this, our next pose is reclined spinal twist, which is not prenatal safe. So we talked about a modification for this because we don't want to twist the torso. So a modification can be to windshield wiper our knees back and forth. And then when we feel comfortable, putting the knees on one side, putting a little pressure with the leg. Here we're careful to keep our sits bones grounded. Because of that, you might find your leg a bit off the mat. If you want, you can use a block or something like this to support it. Or if you want to experience a deeper stretch and you feel that your sits bones is comfortably grounded, you can do it without the block. We'll come on the other side, windshield wipering the legs and experiencing that. Keeping the tailbone grounded so we don't twist. You can make the arms cactus arms. Coming out of this, we'll bring our knees to chest, rock it out a little bit, and then as one unit, so we don't twist the torso, come to the side. From the side, we will experience baby crow as a modification for crow. So we'll start from a squat, and then from the squat, put our hands in front of us. Have the knees into the arms and coming up just like this. So the reason why we said that crow is not prenatal safe is because a lot of people fall in it. It doesn't actually directly impact the baby, but I like to err on the side of caution. Nothing here shall be construed as medical advice, but we just want everyone to be safe. So baby crow is really a great strengthener, and it also can build strength for dolphin. Coming out of that, we'll transition out of that with squat, and squat is also a modification for crow while pregnant. From this squat, we will come to boat pose or boat pose, half boat. We also learned that there is a modification to have your feet on the ground. So whether you're doing full boat, sorry, it's a little difficult, I'm working on it. My back is not straight. Full boat or half boat or seated boat, wherever you are in your practice, you know, do what feels good, learning something new every day. From boat, we'll come back to our modification for half Lord of the Fishes pose, which is going to be half Lord of the Fishes without turning, or double pigeon. And on the other side, half Lord of the Fishes without turning, or double pigeon. So here in double pigeon, this is a great way to open up the hips and a great way to modify. This is amazing because we have gotten through 8 of our 9 poses of Series E of our last Share Love Fun sequence. Next week, you'll get the last pose. And that concludes our section on the sequence of the week. And now